Greetings, folks. Hope you all are doing great. I'm just setting up here. It's a little bit different. Don't have as many cords this time, which is nice. Just getting everything going here. It's been a minute since I've done a live video. Hope everyone is doing great. We got a nice angle on here, actually. Sweet! Okay, I can see myself. It looks good. That's awesome. How's everyone doing? We don't normally do middle of the day lives, but here we are. I have a very easy class schedule. The first part of this year. So this is really nice. I just have a lot of days off, actually. I have Mondays off, I have Tuesdays off, and I have Thursdays off. So it's kind of funny because it's like I don't even go to school anymore. I have like only really one class right now, and then the second part of this term, I do go to 3 classes, but we only meet once a week, and I think actually one of them is online. So I just have like a huge like cheat code going right now with school, which is great. But how is everyone doing? Where is everyone tuning in from today? As I'm looking at the stream here from my POV, I forgot to title it. So people are probably joining, not even know what I'm doing. I'm stringing my rackets, if you didn't notice. I wonder if I can change that from here. I doubt it. Maybe I can get it done on the other end. There's got to be another way. But yeah, life has been moving quite along nicely here at school. It's been moving pretty good, yeah. I mean, today's October 1st. Hello? Hi.
Woof woof.
Oh, hi Nate. I'm just doing a live.
Oh,
It's okay, I just came in. I don't know, I just got in, so I don't know what those balls are like.
I'm gonna grab 2 cans to get the thing with, and then I'll use a basket to drill with.
Okay. Are you playing with him now, or are you playing? He has class?
No, he doesn't have class.
No, you're just doing an extra session.
He wants to work on his return and his
Oh, good. So it's just an extra session. Because we have practice at 2.
I believe so, yes.
Sweet. Okay, good for him. Awesome. Alright. Well, enjoy.
Yeah, it's good.
Everyone say hi to Nate. He's our assistant coach.
What's up?
Yeah. Tuning in from North Carolina, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Always nice to have new faces or returning faces. Hello from Indonesia. Wow, that's a good one. Welcome to the stream. What time is it there? Definitely like way different than here. What strings am I using? I'll tell you, it's actually coming out in a video in like 2 days probably. It's being edited right now. I'm working on it. We are working on it, I should say. But I'm using Caviar and Super Toro right now. I'll talk about why and some other specifics in the video that's literally coming out any day. It's the part 2 of this racket here. Which string should I use for my brand new RF01? That's very tough for me to say. It depends on how you play. You can use really whatever you want. You can test some things out in there. There's definitely a lot of strings that would work with that racket. If you like polyester strings or co-poly, you can try that out. If you want something that's a little bit more softer, you can try softer poly. You could try hybrid. I'm sure all of those would work great. I have not played with that racket yet, hoping to do so within the next month. Let's go, Rich. Hope you're doing good. It's been a while. I'm gonna come by the camera here, actually need to measure out the string. There we go. I like Caviar, it's my favorite from Toro line, feels firmer than Super Toro. Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. I like it a lot as well. That's why I love to cross it with the Super Toro. Literally, I won't go into too much depth though, but that's all that information is coming out in the video in like 2 days. Where's my starting clamp? I'll have to do a good start here. Well, maybe we'll just wing it today. Oh, no, we're not gonna wing it. Yeah, so Caviar is great. It's a little stiffer than the Super Toro. That's why I like it on the main. That's what I'm putting in here right now. People ask me if I'm, changing the tension at all. No, I don't change my tension from mains and cross. 50 pounds and 50 pounds is what I've been working with, and it's fine. People think that the tensions, if you have 2 pounds heavier or lighter on the main and the cross, the string slides better. Yes, it probably does. I have done that in the past, but I don't know. 50 pounds is working fine for me on both right now. So maybe if we need to, we can change that at a later date. Always looking to improve on equipment and how I can maybe get an edge, or if there is even an edge. But right now, I don't really think tension is going to make a big difference, and I'd like 50 pounds on both right now. But yeah, we have a conference match tomorrow. That's why I'm stringing right now. Normally I'm stringing, depending on the trip, depending on the match, I'm stringing in between 1 and 3 rackets before a match. Today I'm just doing 1 because we just played a match the other day and I had brought 2 fresh ones there. And I just cut out the one that was about halfway through its life. So tomorrow I'll start with a fresh one. And then I always have new ones that weren't even used but a couple days old. And then I'll have one that was fairly new but used a bit. But it's always nice to have freshly strung rackets for matches. That's important for me. But it's crazy, like, even trying to team, like everyone's a little bit different. Like, some people need to have new freshly strung rackets for every single match. They start doubles with a new racket, they start singles with a new racket. Some guys are stringing all their rackets at the beginning of the week and they just play with them until they break. I am not somebody that does that. Some guys string rackets a couple days before match and they'd like to play with it for like 30 minutes in practice and then put it away and save it. It's funny how everybody has their own little things. Like I said, for me, for example, I won't touch this racket. I'll string it today and then I'll use it tomorrow in the match for the doubles and the singles. Especially tomorrow, we're playing under the lights at night. So it's going to be a little colder, so I definitely wouldn't change my racket because the tension will drop as I play, which will be helpful. Because it's going to be colder tomorrow night and the balls will be harder and the conditions will be slower. It's always nice to think about those little things. You don't want to think about them too much because then it gets stuck in your head. But Yeah. Whew. I have not been watching much tennis recently though. I watched the US Open and honestly I haven't been watching a lot. I know they have Shanghai and Beijing and they have the Asian swing going, but I haven't paid much attention, excuse me. And they also had the Laver Cup. What's everybody think about the recent tennis stuff? You know, all that Yannick Sinner stuff, I know, just kind of wild. Best string setup for Head Prestige Tour. You're gonna have to help me out with the name there. The Tour, which I don't have to think about with me. That's the 99 square inch. I actually have that racket at home. I should know that. Like I said, somebody asked earlier the same question about like the Roger Pro or whatever, his new racket, Roger 01 Pro or something. Like if you're using a string right now for your racket that you currently use, like if you're trying to demo a string, I would always suggest like putting that string in that new racket of yours to see how it plays. You can see how the string reacts to the racket, but then also you could really get a good demo in. Like if I was gonna play test a new racket, I would put my string setup in it to begin with, because then I have a great feel. With some rackets though, you don't want to put a certain string setup in. Like for example, you would avoid, like if you were going to play with a 90, if you were going to play with a 95 square inch racket, you would not put a 16 gauge poly in there full bed, because it's just going to be too hard on your arm. You're not going to be able to get enough power. It's just very difficult to use. If you're, another one that you would just never do is like, if you played with like, and this is like if you're intermediate advanced, you get like a pure drive and you string the whole thing with natural gut. You just would never do that, you know? But for the meantime, okay, the 95, 16, 19. I think hybrids would work well in that. I think a thin gauge poly would work well. If you really want to go super stiff, like you could play like an alu in there, but you would really want to make sure it's a thin gauge, so like 17 max, but like shoot for 18 if you want to go full bed. But I think a hybrid would work nice in there. If you can afford it, you can get a really nice multi, or natural gut is always nice in those frames. Which head strings are best suited for the extreme? I, in the past, really liked Head Lynx Tour and Head Hawk. Head Hawk Touch, Head Hawk, Head Lynx, the champagne color one, I used in my Extreme 4, the previous one. Those are just my favorites. I feel like the other ones are a little bit more budget friendly, they're not as expensive. Just my opinion, like I feel like the other strings, like they just don't get used as much out on tour. Also, which head strings are not suitable? It's the same thing as rackets, like it's not like there's a bad string, there's just some that like I don't like or would not use because of maybe quality or whatever reason. Like if a string is priced at $4 a set, like there's like Prince strings on Tennis Warehouse that are like $4 that are like synthetic gut. Like obviously that string is not high quality, you know? Like there's a reason why certain strings are like $20, $30, $50 a set. The quality is better, you know? But like, to my point, there's not like necessarily a terrible string on the market, you know? Like everything's gonna work. It's all just about like what you like, you know? But like I was saying earlier, like a safe bet is always to put in what you've been using from a previous frame, So like in my case, this is my racket here, I'm playing with the Extreme Pro. If I was gonna play with the new Gravity that just came out, I would put my string setup in that racket to see how it would play, you know? And then I would go from there, if that makes sense. Or if I really heard that or thought that my string setup would be bad in that racket, then I would maybe go for something else at the start, but that's really rare. If that makes sense to everybody. What are some good strings for control? You definitely want to stick with a full bed of poly. I mean, you got some typical ones, you got the ALUs of the world, you have RPM Blast, 4G, those are all Luxilon and Babolat. The Head Hawk is good. From Tourline, you have Wasabi and Caviar. Super Tour is not a bad option. Restring Sync and Restring Zero are great options as well. You can always rewind this if you need to hear me say it again. What else? You got there's a bunch of different options. Grapple Snake has their Tour Sniper and their M8. Honestly, from the Tourline, the Grapple Snake, and the Restring, we have affiliate links with them, so if you want to get a discount, you can use the ones that I just suggested there. I don't have any affiliate links with Luxilon, but you can always try those ones that I just said there. They'll work good as well. Thank you. I'm currently using Tour Wasabi X, but interested to get the opinion on someone with more experience than me. Yeah, I mean, so you're looking for, I'm just trying to see here. You want a new string setup. I mean, if it works well, don't change it, right? If it works well, don't change it. If you want something a little softer, better at the net, then you can put a softer string on the cross. If you really want to feel it, you put it on the main. That's why I put my Caviar on the main, because the string that goes on the main, you feel the most. We'll do a little tennis lesson, you know? So if you put natural gut on the main in a racket, you will feel it more than the cross string. The science behind that, that's where it gets a little funky. I can't really explain that well. For example, Roger played with natural gut on the main, Novak plays with it on the cross. So Novak, when he plays, would feel the natural gut more on the cross compared to Roger, or players that would do so. Hello, I have a version before this one. Added weight to the 9. Added weight to the head, 915. Really like control. How do you like stock version? Stock version, it's good as well. I like it. It just needs weight. The video that's coming up next, the part 2, I'm going to depth about all the specs, so watch out for that. I don't have I swing weighted and balanced them stock, and then I should have it memorized, but I don't. So just be on the lookout. There's a video that's coming out on our channel about this racket, the specs, comparing them to previous ones, comparing it to some other things. So just watch out for that. It has all that stuff in it. The stock version plays well. It's going to work for a lot of people, but for more advanced players, they might want some more on it. So then that's where you would add weight. I didn't add a lot of weight really. I just have weight up at 12 and some in the butt. It's very little. I really tried to combine, this is something I talk about in the video. I really tried to combine the specs of 3 rackets. The specs of this stock racket, of course, because this is the one that I'm working with. The specs of my previous Radical, which was weighted up quite heavily and is already a heavy racket. And then my previous Extreme Tour, which was a very funky spec'd out racket once I swing weighted it and weighted it. And that's something I talk about in the video. and it's interesting because I liked how that played. And the specs on that are really weird. So definitely look out for the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed so you don't miss it. And yeah, all those questions will be answered in that video. I got Yonex V498 next string with RPM Blast, but I don't like that it goes dead quickly. You think Links Tour Confidential are good strings for me? I haven't played with RPM in a while. Confidential and Links Tour are also very control oriented. Like, it depends what you're looking for. If you want to stay on the control route, you're going to get strings that are not as lively. They're very control oriented, that might have good spin. But if you want something that's like going to give you some more juice, then you should look for a softer poly that is a thinner gauge. Like the next level I would go to for you would be like, you could actually try Super Toro. That's a little bit softer than that. But like RPM Confidential would be also very dead. You wouldn't like that. Personally, I like deader strings because it's all me, you know? Like it's all my strength, it's all my power. I feel the ball better with deader strings. Like for me, like Tourline Absolute, it's a good string, but it's like, it's not for me. It's a poly that's it's like a power poly in my opinion. But for some people that's gonna work really good. For me, no. I like to have the control deader strings, or strings that are on the deader side. It helps me have a better feel. But that's just for me, you know, everybody's different. I'm also looking for a good matching string with the V498. Tried Super Pro, but had trouble with the launch. Any other Tourline strings you recommend? I tried Wasabi. I tried Caviar from Tourline. If those don't work, then you're gonna probably feel like you want something stiffer. Then you can try Confidential. You can try Restring Sync. Restring Sync is like top tier string. Really good, really, really good. I have to try still Restring Sync. I'm just waiting for this week to be over actually because it's our last conference week. Restring Sync and Restring Zero combined on a hybrid. Apparently that plays really, really good and I want to try it really, really bad. But I just can't right now because I'm kind of in season right now. So you can't really tinker with gear that much when you're like playing on. How are we doing for time? 11:21. Pretty solid. I'm only doing one racket here today, guys. We got stuff to do. I gotta go get a bite to eat after. We got practice at 2 o'clock. I got a teammate that's coming in here to string just after 12:15. Still got lots of time, but yeah, I've got practice. We're gonna do a little workout after. It's actually been a long time since I did do a live. I think maybe it was well before I came to school, maybe like a week or 2, 3 weeks. No, yeah, no problem. Yeah, guys, feel free to always ask questions, especially in the live videos. I try my best to answer like everyone's stuff in the lives. When it comes to videos, like sometimes it's tough. Like we do get a lot of comments, and like you might be like, oh, well, there's only like 10 comments on that video, and I'm like, well, some of them are you just don't see, or like. We also have like over like I think 400 videos on the channel, which is crazy. Like we still get comments on those videos. So sometimes when all the comments come in, some of them just get lost. But I do really try to answer every single one. But it's very difficult sometimes. With going dead, I mean the tension goes too quickly. So what string has better string durability than RPM blast with someone, ooh. RPM is supposed to be very on the more durable side. You could try Confidential 16 gauge. Yeah, like what you're gonna do is you need to have a thicker gauge. So I don't know, if you played 17 gauge RPM, but you liked RPM, then you could try 16 gauge RPM, you might get a few more days out of it, and some better playability and durability. But the thing is, like, if you were playing 16 gauge and you found that you were breaking it quickly, it also depends what racket you're playing in it with. Like if you're playing a pure drive with RPM 16 gauge and you're breaking, that's more of the racket, you know? Like if you're playing with a power racket, strings are gonna break quicker. Like strings are, it's just the way it works. Like strings will last longer on a Prestige 95 or on a Pro Staff 90 than they would on a pure drive 100 or pure arrow or V-core, you know, something like that. Just because the strings, they don't, there's more space for the ball to hit the strings, so then the string gets like, it's hard to explain. But strings break quicker on rackets that are more power oriented and have bigger sweet spots and also just are bigger head sizes. So I guess that, I mean, yeah, you can try Confidential, you can try just a thicker gauge string in general. If you're breaking RPM 16 a lot, then I would just try another control string and see what feedback you get from it. But like for example, I'm cutting my string out, to be honest. Like I'll play, but I'm in a different situation. Like I'll play 3 days with a racket, and if I don't break it, I just cut it out. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, some of you guys wouldn't have been in here yet, but like, before I even started stringing, like, the racket in the string that I cut out, it was actually fairly new. But like, I'm just getting a fresh bed in here for the match tomorrow. But like, I don't break strings all the time, you know? But I also know that my circumstances are different, and like, I will play with a fresh racket every match. Do you have a favorite string hybrid, or do you constantly experiment with strings? What string thickness do you prefer? I used to be super pro 16 gauge for everyone, just because it was like, you know, it's more affordable, the string lasts longer, you get great durability, the control is great. But then like in the last, ever since I started using a lot of Tourline stuff, I've been more of a 17 gauge kind of guy, because I feel like it's just the string gauge is more well-rounded. And what do I mean by that? I mean like, you might not get better durability, but you get better playability. I feel like the experience is better. It might feel a little crispier. But also that it depends on your racket and the tension and stuff like that. Like if I was playing with a pure drive 100, I would probably use a stiff string at a 16 gauge. Like I think Rafa uses a 16 or 15 L gauge on his pure arrow, you know, like, but like if you look at, I don't know, like Andy or Novak, like with their main, when they have their poly string in their racket, they're probably playing 17 L, you know. It's just because they're different types of rackets. Like Andy was playing 95 square inch for years. Novak is still playing that, you know. So yeah, I mean, those are just my thoughts on that. It's funny, I haven't actually like geeked out about strings or rackets or like have these conversations in a while. One, because a lot of our videos on our channel haven't been in that department recently, and then also just I haven't done a live in a while. guys enjoy our channel, and you guys are on here, you're not subscribed, go subscribe. It's free. It's not that hard to do. Right below the screen, there's a little button that should either be black or red. Do me a favor and click that button. Have you already seen the new Gravity Touring? Yes. Yes. I have seen the racket. I don't know if you're referring to like the overall racket or the paint job. I think the paint job looks amazing. I haven't done too much. Like I said, I haven't geeked out, I haven't nerded out about rackets in a little bit, just because I've been so into the season. The videos we've been doing lately have not been as much racket and string oriented. But I have seen the photos. I like it from what I've seen, but I haven't like really took a deep dive on it or anything yet. Or explored with it. But yeah, I think the paint job looks amazing. I love the black. It looks kind of glossy. I think rackets that are glossy always look better. When like what they did with the speeds, like I've talked about those a lot in the last few months. Talked about it in the most recent video. During the summer when I did the review, talked about it during some lives. I talked about these rackets with like some people at my club as well. Like it's just, there's the feeling of them in your hand, like the texture. Worst part about the racket by far. I hate rackets that are like that velvet feeling. I hate it. It's so frustrating. I just am not one for that type of feeling. The rackets play great. That's another thing. But for a total package, I feel like when people or when companies do the velvet like paint job, it's like cheap. Like Countervail, when they did that years ago, that felt cheap. The Wilson Clash First, I think they still have this on the current one. It just feels cheap. The speeds felt cheap. When you have them, like this, the gloss or like this matte, like smooth finish, feels so much better. So much better. Like I don't think there would be one pro player. Well, sorry, that would be false. There would be definitely more players that are playing with the matte and the gloss finishes on their rackets than the velvet. And I even think, like, these guys and girls that are really at the top of the game, they would have a choice when they get their rackets made or when they're selecting stuff. Like, hey, do you want a gloss finish, do you want a matte finish, or do you want the velvet finish? If you take the velvet finish, you're crazy. You're crazy. And the fact that the head is now 98, I think we'll have less forgiveness. Yes, you're probably right. I don't know what direction they're wanting to go with that racket, but I'm wondering if it will change it a lot. If they change the bed a little bit and they keep it how it was pretty tight with the teardrop shape, I think they'll have a different audience. It's like a different target market. But if they change it a tiny bit, like how will the racket like actually play when I get my hand on it or when other people, what they say, we'll see, I guess. I mean, there's so many rackets right now that are 98 square inches. I also think the Gravity was kind of tough to maneuver because of that 100 square inches. That's just me though. Like I felt it was just a bit awkward, but some people loved it. AK, how are you enjoying being back with your ex? It's been a great experience. Been a great experience. I love it. We've been back together for about a month and a half now. And I don't think we're gonna break up anytime soon. We're not breaking up anytime soon with the racket. And my grandmother is here. Hi, Daddy. Nice to see you. But yes, for people that are not understanding the reference of being back with my ex, we are talking about my racket, this racket. I used to play with the Extreme Tour, then I went with the Rad for a while, and then now I'm back with the Extreme. So that's why we keep referring to it as my ex. Preview on new string setup. This is the preview you're gonna get right here. Video's coming. It's like already being edited. We've already started working on that. It'll be out in the next few days. I would guess it would be up in the next 2 days. Could be wrong though. That's my prediction. It's just when we are able to get it done. Like I said, we're pretty busy here. I'm full force here in the season. We got a week left, so yeah, it's coming out. We'll talk about all that stuff. I'm using Super Toro and Caviar. I did talk about that earlier here in this live, so if you want to go back, feel free to do a little rewind. But yep, I've been using this string setup for ever since the summer started, pretty much. I've been using this string setup much longer than the racket, if that makes sense. I just never really talked about the string. What's the origin of your channel name? Great question. I've never gotten that question before, and I'll talk about it. MP Tennis stands for Match Point Tennis. Why did we choose that name? You know what? There's no like specific reason. We just liked how it sounded. MP Tennis was born out of boredom, actually. Me and my dad during COVID, actually. So this is like coming up on like, wow, this makes me starting to get old, you know? Like back in 2020, 2019 maybe, holy shit. It's like a while ago now, because like 2024 is coming to an end. It was COVID, we were inside, we were bored out of our minds. I was wrapping up junior tennis, we didn't have like the tournaments for a year there or whatever, 2 years or whatever. And we were like, we need to do something. So we were like, what if we just like made a tennis video and put it online? We also had a podcast for a short time, which I'm sure you could find if you really dug deep, guys, on Spotify. And you can laugh at my very young little boy voice, because I sound a lot different there. But anyway, it was an idea born out of boredom, because we were bored during COVID. So we started doing videos because we thought that we had something to share and something to help other people. My tennis, upbringing, you could say, or tennis junior career is like very abnormal. And there's a lot of kids in the world that would be in a similar place to me. And what do I mean by that? Is like when I grew up, like I didn't have access to tennis that much. Basically, I would like to say I became a college tennis player without playing indoor tennis for many, many years. So I would only play tennis in the summers. In Canada, we have cold winters. You cannot play tennis in the winter unless you have an indoor facility. I did travel to an indoor facility for a few years driving. That was crazy. So I didn't want to do that. That was like back when I was U14. And then I did actually move away from home when I was 13 years old, which is another crazy thing. I did a lot of crazy things when I was younger. So yeah, I felt like sharing all these things, helping other people, that's why we started it. because we felt like we had learned a lot from doing, and we thought that we had something to share. So that's how the channel started, and we're still going. And we will continue to keep going, if that makes sense.
How far did you make in the ITAs?
I think I was quarters against the #1 seed. I played him the other day again in conference and I lost 7-6, 6-4. Really frustrating because like this guy, it's like such a good challenge. He's been #1 at this school for 4 years. And like, man, I wish I could drop some F-bombs right now, but I can't on this string. But like, I was just so effing frustrated at the fact that like, the level is so close. I've improved a lot. And I'm frustrated because I'm so close. I played him at ITAs, was up a set on serve at 5-5, and I lost in the third set. So then we played again the other day, and I lost 6-4. Like, he's like a college, like he's from Serbia. His return game is like unreal. So like I serve really well, and that's like one of my biggest strengths. So he kind of takes it away from me a bit. I wouldn't say he fully takes it away. He just returns really, really well. So anyway, there's a lot of things to take away from those 2 matches. My level is really good right now. I feel really confident. But yeah, I lost to the #1 seed ITA. So sorry for the long answer.
Just came by to say hello. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, Hobby. Nice to see you. Hobby's a loyal viewer here. He's been here since the olden days here at MP Tennis. Hobby is a goat. But yeah, ITAs was good. ITAs was good. Would have liked to have kept going, but one person wins the tennis tournament, you know? That's the thing about tennis that's honestly the worst is you go into a tournament with 64 players, one person is going to win. 63 of them are going to lose. And there was a draw of 128. There wasn't 128 players, but it was a draw of 128. So that means, I don't know, like 71 players don't win, you know? So anyway, that's kind of my little spiel.
Does anybody have any other questions? I did finish the racket. I will wrap up shortly here. I will sit behind the stringer.
Anyone has anything to say, whip out the computer. We'll wrap it up. I can answer a few questions. Man, a big fan of your content with love from Russia. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Max. That's really cool. Having people from all around the world tune in today. For people that don't know, I'm in our locker room right now. I know people are always like, where are you? But yeah. Any thoughts on what you might do after college? I'm done this year. This is my last year. Really strange, to be honest. I'm 20, which is really young, so I'll have graduated with an undergrad and a master's by the end of the year of 25. I'm not ready to work. I don't want to work. For people that are older in here, they might be like, oh, the kids, they don't want to work. Well, you're right. They do not want to work, and I don't yet. So I'll play some tennis, hopefully here over this summer and for the next few years, and then we'll reevaluate the level that I produce and the money and other things that go into being a tennis player. So it's pretty tough. Do I live in this locker room? Pretty much. No, we're in here a lot. All of our shit is in here. Like you can see, like guys have clothes everywhere. I didn't make an effort to really clean. Where the camera is, like my stall is like right next to you. That's filled with like a bunch of crap, strings. I'm looking at it right now. Strings and shoes and chairs and winter coats and snow gear. But yeah, we're in here a lot. We're in here before practice. We're in here after practice. We're in here stringing. all the showers and stuff are in here, but we spend lots of time in here. We're lucky to have a nice locker room. Not every team is lucky to get a locker room. So, greetings from Germany. Nice to see you. We have a couple Germans on the team, actually. We've had a few Germans on the girls team as well over the years. Right now we have two. Any plans post-college? Just kind of went over that. I guess I could go back into that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play tennis. Like, I would really actually like to play club tennis in Germany, actually, this summer or next summer or soon. So hopefully we could do that. There's some good matches there, and then we'll try and get back on the pro stuff. It's tough to get in those, you know. You gotta have money, you gotta have the points, you gotta have the resources, you gotta be good. So we're gonna try, we'll see what happens, and then we just keep going. We keep going forward, or we change it up. As far as like, you know, what am I saying? Work, like work. I don't want to work really right now, but like I do know down the line, like I do enjoy the role of college coaching. Like, not that I'm in the role because I'm a player, but like I'm lucky that I have been a captain for 3 years of our team. Like, this is my 3rd year being a captain here. I was a young captain. My coach wanted me to be one, or like put me in the role when I was a sophomore. So I learned a lot about, you know, what happens behind the scenes and what it means to do captain things and be kind of the liaison between the coach and the team, and also what happens in our athletic department. And yeah, I think it's cool. I would love to coach at like a really nice school in the future. Maybe that's something I can do. Maybe things will change. I don't know. Also, people always ask, like, if I wasn't going to do tennis stuff, like what would I do? And probably work with children that are underprivileged and trying to get them involved in some shape or form in sports. Not every child has great upbringings, and not all of them are lucky enough to play tennis or other sports. So that's something I would like to maybe do in the future. Super cool. Any other Raggaroos coming soon? I know you're in season, so imagine it's up. It's very tough. I almost never touch any other rackets other than mine during season. I just sent a text actually to one of my guys that helps provide us with some rackets for reviews and stuff. So probably some stuff will be coming here soon, I hope, but you never know. But yeah, they're on the horizon. I totally agree that the Head Extreme Pro is a sweet 6. It is really good. I love it. I don't plan on changing, actually. Like I said that in the last video, like I just really love that racket. I just can't say something negative about it. Thanks, Rich. Yep, we are playing Bentley tomorrow, actually. I'm gonna be streaming. I don't have that many people on here right now, but I got enough to tell you guys this. We stream all of my matches on Facebook Live. So go like our Facebook page and follow. I'm not a Facebook nerd. My dad does a lot of that for me, actually, on Facebook. But like, all my matches get live on Facebook. So if you ever want to watch me play, please go like the Facebook and you can watch me play. Like tomorrow I will be streaming my match. We're playing at home tonight under the lights. It's going to be cold though, so I'm going to be whipping out the thermal. But yeah, that's kind of that. I mean, if anybody has anything, last things to say here, I'll answer. But other than that, then I will be off to lunch before practice. So yeah. But yeah, it would be nice if people ever do, you know, come watch on the live. My dad always watches on the live and he tells people what the scores are, because people have a hard time tracking via live. It's not like there's a scoreboard or anything like on the live. Alright. I actually hate playing cold weather. The season here in Moscow ends very early. Yeah, I get it. Like tomorrow for us, I think in the night is going to be like 13 or 12. And like it's not that I don't like the feeling of the cold. For me, it's like, it's the balls. They become rocks, you know? I hate that. I hate playing with harder balls, like pen balls, like Costco balls. I don't know if you guys ever played with those. They suck. When it gets cold out, it doesn't matter what ball you play with. It's like they turn into that shitty pen ball. Speaking of balls, this is like a tangent, but we played with Dunlop Grand Prix balls at ITAs. Best ball I ever used in my life. So good. And I normally am a Wilson US Open guy, but honestly, this ball is just way better than Wilson US Open. Pro pen balls, garbage. I hate them. Anything pen, terrible. Do I have some goals for my team this year? Yeah, I mean, the goal is always to win. If you guys look at our record right now, we're actually 0-3 right now. We're having a little bit of a tough start. But there's a lot of matches still to come here. We have 2 this week, and then we're gonna have exhibitions to work on some things, and then also the whole spring season. We're going away on a spring break trip as well, so we have lots of matches to come. So the goal is always to win. The goal is to win, and win what? Win the conference, make it to regionals, make it to nationals. Every year since my freshman year, we've made the round of 32 or further. So it's always the goal to get back to that position and put yourself in a position to keep moving on. So yeah, that's my goal for our boys this year. We have a younger group. We have 4 new guys this year, so everybody's still adjusting. Everybody's still learning their spot here in the team, how everything works and stuff. It's always a lot. Yeah, like we have 3 of them are freshmen and 1's a transfer, and it's always tough when you have people that are adjusting from culture shock, and the tennis is different, and it's not on clay. We play hardcore college tennis. You know, like a lot of guys from different countries play clay a lot growing up, right? So everything's different for a lot of people, and they just need to adjust. So yeah, that's kind of it. I'm gonna sign off here. Hope you guys are doing great. We had a pretty good live today, just over 15 minutes. I'll answer this last one. What's a player saw that's hardest to play against for you? Probably playing against somebody that plays like myself, like somebody that just absolutely hits the shit out of the ball, and is like big time, like solid serve, and then they're really going for it flat through the court. I don't like playing people like that, just because, I mean, who doesn't want to play? Like that's just a tough style to play with in general. And then I would just say like guys that are all quarters. Like it's like when I have to play myself. Like playing an all court player is just kind of like a pain, because like there's no major weakness. You really have to be creative. Maybe the match becomes very physical. All things like that. I like playing against serve volleyers. I like playing against guys that have really big serves, just because like I enjoy that challenge, and like I'm also somebody that like really loves to play shots that are like threading the needle. So like I'm good at that too. So like I love playing guys like that. But anyway, that's gonna be it. Thanks guys for watching. I'm gonna write thank you from myself on my personal YouTube in the chat for everyone, because maybe some people will see this after. Yeah guys, awesome seeing you. We'll catch you guys in the next live or next video. Like and subscribe, you know all the stuff. We'll see you later.